Welcome back to the Travsessed podcast. We are your hosts, Mr. Pop and Mrs. Chips. And we are healthcare travelers and the creators of Travsessed. Actually, our names are Kim and Aaron, if you didn't know. But that is the new nickname that we have given ourselves since we have been in St. Augustine, Florida, which we are going to talk all about moving as a traveler in this Tuesday Traveler Quick Tip. So here we go.
Flight crew, please prepare for departure.
I'll just start by saying we've been living in Charleston, West Virginia for the past 10 months, and they aren't known for their food scene.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. Well, I mean, the food's disgusting.
It's also a preference, right? We like good food, good quality food.
You don't have to be like political. Like, it wasn't great, right? There wasn't a lot of great places to go.
Some people think it's amazing.
Okay. Well, those people probably haven't left West Virginia very often.
True.
So we cooked every single meal at home pretty much for 10 months because there really wasn't anywhere that was worth it to go out to. It was like, so now we're in Florida, in St. Augustine, surrounded by literally walkable, which is such trouble, to so much good food.
Anything you want.
Anything you want. And so we just walked across the street to an amazing taco place that was so freaking good. Aaron ate an entire bag of chips.
I did not.
Which is why I'm calling you Mr. Or no, you're Mr. Pop.
Yeah.
Because you've been just chugging Coke Lights for all day.
Coke Light. Are we in Indonesia?
What's it called?
Diet Pepsi?
Coke Zero. And together, we basically polished off a huge bag of chips, but you went pretty ham on those chips.
Yeah. But I mean,
I had to bite your fingers off.
Not only have we been cooking every meal, we've also been really watching what we eat and not doing a lot of carbs and like everything homemade, and it's like protein and vegetable, and like so it's like the Tasmanian devil has been turned loose, and so it's like I don't want to get into that pattern, but it is nice to be able to just be like, I don't feel like cooking dinner, let's walk. But when we had the I don't feel like cooking dinner in West Virginia,
we just had to cook anyway.
We had to cook anyway.
So this is, yeah, it's trouble. Like my belly hurts.
Well, the problem is too is there's a hurricane, now tropical storm moving through, and our power went out because a tree fell on the power line, which, what are you doing?
Oh,
love?
sorry.
Which basically knocked out our power unexpectedly. We didn't think we were going to have that issue, but it's always a possibility in a storm like that. And so we watched the tree fall on the power line, and we were like, oh no. And sure enough, FPL came out, Florida Power and Light, and they shut off the power. And so we're like, well, gotta go. So we've been like out and about all day. So we just didn't feel like...
we went to lunch.
Yeah.
And we went to dinner last night. So...
We went to dinner last night?
Wait. Last night?
No.
Oh, no. We cooked at home.
Yeah.
I made you a delicious salad.
Yeah, it was
shrimp.
an amazing salad.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Okay. No, we went out somewhere yesterday. Oh, we went out to lunch yesterday. That's what it was.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. So we're completely out of control.
Wow.
But dang, it tastes good.
Yeah.
But I'm back on track tomorrow.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. So let's get in.
Kind of leads right in.
Yeah. Perfect segue to so obviously as a traveler, okay, we work 3-month contracts at a time, right? Unless you extend, it's 6 months, 9 months. Like we were in West Virginia for 10 months, right? Aaron extended a couple times. And so, but typically you are moving around every couple of months. And and we've been traveling for 13 years, okay? So we've been at this for a long time. And while that is such a fun part of what we get to do, because it's exciting, like going to a new city and where are we living and exploring new places.
Getting out of the one you're in. You're like, okay, off to the next one.
Yeah, like it's exciting. It's fun. And it's been one of my favorite parts about traveling. I just absolutely love it. I know a lot of travelers, that's what they're signing up for, is they want to go to new places. They want to explore. They want to have adventures in places that they might not ever go to otherwise, right? And so it's a huge draw and perk to be a traveler and to get to essentially travel and move all the time. But on the flip side of it, it's also it can become exhausting and overwhelming and tiring, and it can cause burnout, because you're just like this is how I felt leaving Charleston. I do not ever want to move again. I'm freaking over it. I don't want to pack up. I don't want to figure out where we're heading next. I don't feel like moving anymore.
Well, we were talking about this, and this just came to me while you were just talking. I guarantee you, it's number one reason why most travelers do camper.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because you don't have to pack up anything. You just literally get in the driver's seat, turn the key and go.
Yeah.
Make sure it's secured down and off you go.
100%.
And so then there's no bins and there's no this and that and apartments and turning off electric, and which we choose to do because of our lifestyle. But I think that's why there's so many camper travelers.
Yeah, I mean there's pros and cons to everything. Like, we realized that RV life wasn't for us, but the ease of that, of like, and we're off and we're going, like, just pull out of your spot and all your stuff's with you. And I think too is, you know, we've been traveling pretty minimally, and you always think, I really do believe, I'm like, we don't have that much stuff. Yeah. I really do. Like, especially compared to other people, like, we live pretty basic. But when it comes to packing up and it's time to put stuff in the bins and get the things organized, I'm always like, how do we have all of this? Mm-hmm. Why is there so much stuff? So even though we don't have that much, it's still a thing. It's still a move. It's still a lot of work.
Well, that's what when we were just traveling in healthcare full time, just bouncing from contract to contract, we had it down pat, because where we first started traveling, we were in the car and the truck, and like after that Atlanta first 2 contracts, I was like, never again are we doing this. We have to get rid of all of this stuff. And so we've got it down to where it was like so simple. It was like 3 or 4 bins and we were gone. Like, but then we started to realize that we were buying things to kind of, when we were cooking more and we would need like bowls and this and that like we didn't have. And then I was like, are we just keep throwing this stuff away and we keep accumulating the same stuff? So then we would just add a bin and add a bin and add a bin. And next thing you know, like, it's just like 6 and 7 bins. Yeah. Which is a lot.
Well, it's a lot. We're also 2 people. So I think it just, you know, if I was single, I wouldn't have that much stuff. I think what takes up the most space for us is our kitchen stuff, because we do cook, and
our office stuff,
of course. Like, but I think regardless, it's just, travelers always, I think no matter how long you've been traveling, you go through an ebb and flow. I think most travelers hit a burnout zone. It just happens because, like I said, it's so exciting and there's so much fun about that part, but then it can also burn you out. And I think when that does happen, you can extend. Like, there's times that we've just extended because you just want to stay in flow. You want to stay in the routine. You don't want to pick up and move somewhere new and figure all that out. So that's always an option, or taking some time off or something. But I think one thing I want to say about it is just knowing that if you do hit that point where you're like, I'm over this, like, this is a lot right now, just know that all travelers feel that way. Mm-hmm. And that just take a little bit of a pause or a break or extend or whatever you need to do, but it passes. You and I have gone through this so many times that we feel burned out and we're over it, and then we take a beat and then we come back and we're refreshed again and we're ready and we want to do a cross-country road trip. Yeah, so it's like it all ebbs and flows. But I think this Charleston move hit me where I was like, this sucks. I don't want to do this right now. And it really wasn't
that bad.
I felt, in the grand scheme of things, compared to moves you and I have done, it really wasn't that bad. But for some reason, it just weighed heavy. And I think it was because I just didn't want to do it. Like, we were in a flow. I just didn't want to have to, like, focus on the packing and the moving and the driving and blah, blah, blah,
and
blah,
the shipping.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and the shipping of the 28 boxes, which most people won't have to ever do that. We had all of our Travsessed boxes or backpacks that we took off of Amazon, and we just had them. So that was a whole thing too.
Thanks for your lovely husband.
Yeah. That literally
went into the freaking horror film storage unit and they got all the boxes out. Plus I didn't have a dolly, so I had to like manually carry these 28-pound boxes, and they put me in the bowels of the scary like storage. So it's like it wasn't just like easy pull up access, grab it and put it in the Jeep. It was like walking like a football field to get to it.
That's insane. Well, I felt really bad for you for having to do that because it's such tedious, hard labor because of all like the amount, and you had to do it box by box. But then we had to, our postman, we left them, so we basically do our own labels, our shipping labels, because we have our own little setup because we ship out boxes all the time for our
And you
trips.
save a shit ton of money.
So we labeled them and addressed them, and so we just have to put them out, and the postman will come and pick them up and take them for us, which is amazing. But I felt so bad because he walked up on 28
boxes, and each of them, the majority of them besides 8 of them, so 21 boxes were at least 28 pounds up to 44 pounds.
Dude, I'd be so freaking pissed.
Yeah.
And then we shipped them to my sister's, and the postman showed up, I guess, and my brother-in-law was there. So he ended up helping him. But I guess they said he was just like in a full sweat, just bringing up these boxes. And my sister's husband texted my sister, and he's like, "What did you buy?
Yeah.
What is all of this?" And she was like, "Don't worry, it's just Kim and Aaron stuff." But we got there, and like the boxes were piled high in the garage, and I just feel so bad for the post people. But anyways, we just went on like a huge tangent.
Yeah.
I think be nice to your postmen because they work hard. And I think the biggest thing that, again, we've been traveling for 13 years. So we've had so many phases of so many different ways of traveling. But I think the one thing that, especially when we were in the thick of it and we were just like back to back to back, we always tried to travel as light as we possibly could. And we were cutthroat of, do we use this? One of our rules was, if we have not used this on a contract, then we don't need it, right? If it hasn't been taken out of the drawer, taken out of the box, the bin, then we don't need it, leave it. And so we really got cutthroat and just had very minimal stuff, because the less you have, the easier the transition is going to be. We even said that coming into this Airbnb, we had a shit ton of bins. We're like, why do we even have so much stuff? We're here for a week. And we're like, if we would have just rolled up with our suitcases, it would have been so much easier. Mm-hmm. And this place is fully furnished, but I don't know what we have here.
Well, we're also about to go on all of our trips, so we need to sort through stuff. And we're trying to get organized from coming from West Virginia, and then, our storage unit, and then also like figuring out what we need to take and what we need to leave behind, and, things we use on a normal basis. And so, we've gotten used to a minimal amount of creature comforts, but it's a lot more than what, the nomadic person would carry. And so I do think, like what you said, though, if you're given one tip, if you are feeling burnt out, really looking at the amount of stuff you have and trying to whittle it down so it's as efficient as possible. Because when you can be in and out of a place, even if it's unfurnished, and you're renting furniture, which we've done, just being able to load up a couple bins, throw them in the car, and off you go is so much better than what we've been doing with and we only have 7 bins and clothes.
Well, it's funny because my mom, when I think I posted on our Instagram story that we had, because we have 2 bins for our kitchen. And we're like, this is so much stuff. What the heck? And my mom was like, okay, put that into perspective. You have 2 bins that holds all of your kitchen stuff, all the stuff you have, compared to what most people have inside of their kitchen. You guys are pretty minimal. You're pretty light. You're doing a pretty freaking amazing job.
Well, we also, what we're not thinking about too is we put an air fryer and a industrial sized Vitamix in one of the bins.
Yeah.
That took up all of it. And then we have 2 major boil pans. So those are huge. So they take up the entire bin. So technically, if we had a big bin, it would be one.
Yeah. So I think the takeaway here is this. Know that if you're feeling burnt out, you are not alone, and figure out what you need to slow down a little bit and give yourself a little time to refill, because then, at least in our experience, we always feel like excited and like re-engaged with the travel life and like ready to go again and ready to go hard, and like we get excited again. And then the next thing is, if you're feeling like I have so much, I really do, and it's a lot. Honestly, I can't imagine if I was a single traveler. Again, I would have less stuff, obviously, because we're a couple, so we accumulate a lot more. But if I was lugging all this crap by myself, like I would have to pack lighter, 100%, because that would be insane. But if you're feeling like you have a lot of stuff that's bringing you or weighing you down, just really going through it and being cutthroat and asking yourself, what do I really need? Like, what is adding value to my travel experience? What are those things that I can't live without? Like, I really need to have, and it's worth me lugging around the country because it's something that brings me comfort and something that I use all the time. And if it doesn't fall in like those categories of necessity, then chuck it, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because you really do realize the less that you have, you realize you do not need very much stuff.
No, totally. And you can really,
by.
and I know that there's a lot of people out there that feel like I do, where like, I don't need this now, but I could need this, and I don't want to go and buy it. And so then you're like, but then we kind of, when we were being cutthroat, realized that we had bought the same item. I'm talking like a can opener or something. The same item 3 times in 3 different contracts. And it was like, okay, let's keep this, right? Because we have gone and purchased it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, we buy a lot of those bins from, Walmart or wherever, and then just recycle them or give them away. And that way we can reuse those and not have, lugging around all the stuff. So there's ways to definitely do it.
Yeah, 100%. What are your non-negotiables? Like for me, my Ninja, or my Vitamix, I'm never traveling without it. I love it. I use it. It's huge, but it's something that I use every single day. Or even our Ninja grill now. It's huge, but we cook. Like, we're big cooks. So it's like we cooked every meal on that in West Virginia. Our air fryer, every meal. So it's like they're big, but we're like, this is like our lifeline. This is what we use every single freaking day, right? So you got to figure out what that is for you, and then whittle it down, get it slim, get it tight, get it right. You know what I mean? Make that booty bounce.
Whoa. All right.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
And I think we'll go.
We have an interesting story on Thursday, so you can come back for that.
Aaron has.
We'll just say I had to fill out an incident report at Orange Theory today, so we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Come back Thursday
and
to find out why.
A wrap around your head.
Okay. Anyway.
And we'll talk about other things that are fun. So come back Thursday for Thursday fun.
Okay. Bye.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Later, Gator.